calf strains are in the news. Your girl went down.
Yeah.
Yours lasted about 4 weeks last year, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm praying for Joey. Yeah, no, it's tough. Depending on the position, calf strains are never fun. It's one of those things that even when it happened in 2020, it was a different muscle, gastroc and soleus. And depending on which one it is, I mean, you're pounding the ground, all that different stuff. It's hard to put pressure in. It's hard to stop on the bull rush. So much of being an offensive lineman, usually if you're like a DB, I know some DBs and some skill guys, they can come back and it's, kind of repetitive stress. It's not too bad. They're not pounding the ground kind of thing. But it's tough. It's tough.
What's yours, grade 1, 2, or 3?
I don't remember. But it was naggy. It was I came back and got bursitis in my left knee. Everything that happened on my left. I think I was in a practice and I got a little low ankle sprain, and it was just, why me, God? But it all worked out. I wish I played a little bit better last year. That's no excuse, but yeah, it was tough.
And I imagine your weight affects the lower body injury too, right?
100%. And like I said, what we do, if you're running and all you're doing is running off the ball and kind of going backwards and cover and stuff like that, it's not too bad. You can kind of lock it in place and kind of work with it. But when you're pounding into the ground, you really do feel it.
Does this feel like coming home at all?
A little bit. I'm from Northern Virginia, but my wife is from 45 minutes on the other side of Virginia, Craig County. We'll probably put our roots down in Roanoke, Virginia, which is only like an hour and a half. So that's where her family lives now, and so it feels a little bit like home. I love the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's beautiful.
How's father like you?
It's good. He actually made a couple showings to practice. It was nice. He's growing. He's about 23 pounds at 7 months, so he's a big boy. And he said his first word the other day, and it wasn't dad-ass, so I'm upset about it. But it was mama, so she was stoked about that.
Are there witnesses?
I have video. I do have video. So he must have been saying it all day, and then I called her last night, and she said that he's been just saying it all the time. He knows that it gets a smile, so he's saying it.
How about Deshaun? Are you guys getting a really good feel for how to block with Deshaun? And it seems like so much is new, so maybe even what you guys learned or did in the last 6 games of last year could be different. So how is that going?
Yeah, I know we had experience a little bit last year. The playbook didn't fully change, but it was a little different personnel and different plays. It's no excuse. We're one of the best offensive lines in the league, and we need to adjust to that. Last year being that we had all off season with Deshaun, and then, right before the season, we kind of found out that he wasn't going to be playing. Jacoby played out of his mind and played amazing, and I love Jacoby. But we just, we expected number 4. So it was a little bit of a change to go to kind of a heavier run kind of offense, and then, kind of change that to, because he is a special quarterback, kind of move in to where he's running the ball and stuff like that. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, but I believe in our offensive line, and we should have done a little bit better.
What's the hardest part of making that adjustment? Is it something in technique or just patience?
Yeah, it's kind of play calling, and it's the coach is good at what he does. He's one of the best, I believe, at what he does. So kind of adjusting to having a different quarterback, someone who can really run out the backside of a play. It is when you're pass blocking, you got to deal with someone who can spread that field. So you got to be able to get your hands inside, stay in front, use your feet to stay in front, and I feel like this year we're kind of working on that, a little bit of those drills and stuff like that, so we can get rolling early.
How nice is it that you've had so much stability on the line for the last 7 years? I mean, really the only big change was that JC retired, and now you get Ethan for a second straight year.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. Having Jack's my guy. He's a buddy of mine. So being able to, play with him, get that chemistry. Last year having a new center, but still a really smart center. JC was a great center, and Ethan is coming into his second year being a great center, I believe. Our best ball, and I say this all the time, but I believe our best ball is in front of us.
Wyatt, this has been such a unique, slow build-up because of the extra week.
Yeah.
Stefanski's really scheduled it as a slow. How anxious do you think the team is for tomorrow to just start banging?
Yeah, no, I know that we're ready to start hitting. We, right now it's a lot of mental. We got to know where to go. At the end of the day, it's X's and O's. You got to win the war between the ears. So I think right now we're gritting at the teeth to kind of hit, but at the same time we want to know where to go, our techniques, our fundamentals, and all that different stuff. That when the games get hard, it's physical, but it's also mental. So trying to put practices together where we can do both, and where we can hit a little bit, protect our bodies, but also at the same time, get ready and sharpen that iron.
When you guys start blocking in game for Deshaun and you finally see what he's going to be all about in terms of how much he's running, you don't really have a lot of time to come up the learning curve to be able to block for all of that because of the 3 AFC North games in the first one. So how do you sort of make sure that you are really ready for how it's all going to look with Deshaun?
Yeah, no, I know it's going to be an adjustment. Playing those really good teams really early. It's going to be tough, but at the same time, they're dealing with new players and new wide receivers and all that stuff. There's a lot of growing pains every team has to go through. Hopefully we get those wrinkles out in the preseason, but you never know. If it does happen early in the season, we can still turn around and win some games. We just got to put them back to back, and I feel like that's something that we haven't done since 2020 is really gone on a roll and win 2, 3, 4 games at a time. But the way you do that is win one at a time. So we just got to focus on the first.
Considering you play Cincinnati first, considering they've won the division 2 years in a row, did the Burrow news get noticed yesterday?
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was praying for him. I've been through that, and it sucks. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So I'm just praying he gets back and he gets right.
But I mean, just the news of it. Oh my God! Did you hear what happened?
I didn't let it sink in my mind. Usually I'm not even listening to the media. No offense, I love you guys, but usually I don't have social media. My wife kind of runs my Instagram, so she'll tell me stuff. But for the most part, I'm focused on football. I'm focused on getting myself better.
Why? What does Scott Peters add to you guys?
Yeah, he's a madman. He's smart. He knows his techniques. Strike systems. Our footwork is all classified. Our all of us stuff is it's special, and him working for Tip of the Spear, his company. It's you get to see someone who's professional at what they do. Kind of that martial arts kind of background. So it's like all this different kind of striking. Thumb placement. Where we're going. Where we're at. Putting your hat in front. Bill knows how to line up an offensive defense, smarter than anybody I've ever seen. And then, Scott really is, good at, showing us the techniques. At the end of the day, I think Bill makes the final call on most of the techniques. But he's such a help, and he's an awesome guy.
Has he changed how you use your hands?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, in 2020, I feel like they didn't really call holding calls, so I was just grabbing people like this, and now we have a strike system and all this different stuff. So trying to lower the holding calls, help the team out, but also at the same time, kind of, crisp everything up and know what works against their pressure, all this different stuff is, what he's good at.
How much will the run blocking change as a result of more shotgun running out?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we have a great running back. I don't think that's going to change. But it is going to be a little different, having it's more probably a better question for the tackles because my hands should still be in the ground, most of the time, unless if it's third down or something like that. Then I got to be up and reading the defense. But for the most part, the center, the guards are usually down. We're kind of coming off the ball, and that hasn't changed too much. Maybe our alignment and assignment might be slightly different with being in the gun, but at the same time, it's we're coming off the ball and we're hitting.
Isn't there less wide zone?
I don't know. I guess that's a question for coach. But I hope we run the ball. I feel like we have a great run game. But if coach tells us to pass it, we're going to pass.
Has this felt like a slow ramp up to the start of camp to you?
Yeah, it's definitely different. But it's taking care of players, and I feel like everybody's feeling super refreshed, good. It's not we don't got camp fatigue early on and stuff like that either. So it's definitely a different approach for me, but I feel like it's a good one.
But you're ready for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, of course. Always, big guys always be looking forward to like the first day going against the offense and pass. Talk a little junk and stuff on the practice field.
This defense seems very talkative so far. Is that kind of a fun part of these practices, way to get your guys amped up, I guess?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think Coach Schwartz, is the biggest part with that. Everybody's just talking, having fun, and we love to compete. So we always competing with each other and just go against offense and compete even more, just like you're in heaven with competing.
Dalvin, are you much of a trash talker?
Oh, no, not really. I'd be so locked in on like the formations and all that stuff. It's just like I ain't got time for all that.
Yeah, but when you think of Zadarius Smith, what does he do just in terms of revving guys up and helping younger guys and just showing all that kind of leadership out there?
Oh yeah, Z, you know that's my guy. Yeah, his energy he brings to practice every single day is amazing, and like you said, he helps the young guys with technique and things he's learned over the years on different teams, and he shares his knowledge and like we all do, and it's just great how he's still willing to learn and still a student of the game.
After he was traded to Cleveland, it seemed like stuff was coming out of Minnesota about questioning him as a teammate. You know, the last 6 games or 8 games, he didn't have a sack and all that. Did you catch any of that? Or are you surprised that negative stuff came out after the fact?
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that because I played beside him, so we was out there just fighting every single play, and it's the NFL. Sacks hard to come by, but when you Z, you still get them somehow. And it's just he's a great teammate to me and always has been. And the way he comes to work and just want to get better each and every day is just it hasn't never faded away.
What kind of teammate is he, just in terms of everything?
He's super motivational, but he gonna give you some energy, give you some juice when you feel like you're a little tired or something. He gonna come jump around and joke around with you to get you going a little bit more. And he's one of those guys who learns your reason why you playing this, and he just reminds you, hey, you're doing this for this. When you going play 12 in a drive or something like that, keep pushing DT, stuff like that.
Dalvin, how much have you? I mean, you've been working with Jordan now a lot, Elliott a lot. What's been sort of the message you've tried to impart on him, and how have you seen him sort of take the advice you've been offering?
Yeah, me and Jordan, we work almost every day after practice with some technique work and stuff like that. And it's the small things, and I tell them the small things makes the biggest difference. When it comes to pass rush, playing the run, just being effective as a defensive tackle. And he's been picking up everything, and I feel like his game's evolving this training camp, and I'm excited what he's going to do when we get there on the field.
I don't know if you've been asked about him, but also Ovo, I know he's on the edge, you're inside, but just working, what stands out about him?
His strength is crazy. You wouldn't expect Obo to be that strong, and the way he sets an edge is crazy. And he's just so fluid when he pass rushes and stuff. I said before, just every time I see him rush, it doesn't seem real, like somebody playing Madden or something with him out there every time he put his hand in the dirt.
As a new player to this roster, how much is this experience and just having extra week in training camp helped you kind of build bonds and build chemistry?
I feel like it helped out way more, super a lot, just because, like you said, we're in groups walking around, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. Just on the off day, just trying to find something to do. If it's just sitting around the table debating about different topics and stuff, and we just come together as a whole better group. And I feel like that's gonna lead us and play even better throughout the season because we're playing for each other at that point.
Just do anything fun on Wednesday?
We did most of the recovery stuff as a D-line, I guess you could say. So, we were relaxed a little bit. In the trenches, you got to take your off days as, serious as possible.
Better than accommodations better here or in Mankato, where when you were training with the Vikings?
I don't know. Here is definitely different. I've never done anything like this. This is with Minnesota, we really stayed at the facility when I was there. But here it's different. It's a different vibe, and I'm enjoying it.